In this lesson, we'll review an additional topic in math question, and calculator is not permitted. The equation of a circle in the xy plane is shown above. What is the diameter of the circle? This is a common question that you will see in additional topics of math. Only 6 questions, but there's a good chance you'll see some type of circle question. And the formula that you need to know, you just have to remember, it's not given in the reference information, is the standard form of the equation of a circle. And it's x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. And when it's in this form, this is the center of the circle, h and k for the x and y respectively. And also remember the sign. So if the center of the circle, let's say we're 5, 10, this would be x minus 5. And if it were negative 5, it would be plus. It's really the opposite sign, sort of like the vertex form with a parabola. So you need to know this equation. Now the next step is you're not going to be given this in that form, and so you're going to have to put it in that form. And so the first step is, let's combine the x terms. So we have x squared minus 6x, and we'll combine the y terms. And now we have to put this equation into that form. And how do we do that? We have to turn these into perfect squares, and you need to know how to complete the square. You know, I'm a big proponent of completing the square also for factoring problems. I know a lot of students like to use the quadratic formula, but I just think it's a more fluid method. Completing the square is actually the basis for the quadratic formula, but you really need to know how to do this and efficiently. And it's really not that difficult, I think, once you practice a little bit. So all you have to do is take this coefficient, this b coefficient, and cut it in half, and then you square the quantity. And so it's going to be x minus 3, and then we square it. Now we have replicated that, but we've done one extra step if you think about it. If you multiply this out, we get x squared minus 3x minus 3x is minus 6x. But the last part of the FOIL, we've added 9. And so with completing the square, you just cut it in half and square it. But then if we've added 9 here, like any equation, we're going to have to add 9, so we're just going to put a plus 9 over there. Now we do it for the y. So we have y, again, here's the coefficient. We're just going to cut it in half, so it's plus 4, and then square the quantity. Again, we have replicated that, y squared plus 8y, but the last part of the FOIL, we have added 16. So we have to add 16 to this side. And now we have to add 25 because we added 9 and 16, and now we have 169. So now we have this in the standard form of an equation. And remember, this last part, this 169, we know that r squared is 169. And we don't really need a circle, but the center of the circle would be 3, negative 4, but it's done at this point. We just have to find the diameter. And so if we take the square root of both sides, we know that r, the radius, equals 13. You have to read it carefully. Question's asking for the diameter, and so the diameter equals 2r, and that is 26. So pretty typical question. You just have to be careful, know the standard form of an equation, and how to complete the square.